Hey y'all, hope you're doing well today. So in today's message, I want to share with you something that will help to keep you mindful. It's going to depend on what stage you're into. It's going to be hopefully very helpful if you are still stuck in a toxic situation where you feel like something's off. That's how it was for me. You begin by just having this feeling like something's off and wrong, but you can't really put your finger on it. So this message should hopefully bring a little bit of clarity there, as well as some tips on how to get out of that. Okay, if you're already out of a bad situation and you're aware and awake, then this hopefully will still be validating for you, and also serve as just a good reminder going forward too, you know, with new connections or even possibly other connections that we're still evaluating and things like that. So I hope that it's helpful for everyone. What I want to share with you is a tactic that I observed, even though I wasn't aware of it for a long time in the beginning. But as I educated myself, and I'm going to share with you the things that I did to come to this realization and to be able to move forward, right? To bring myself out of this trauma response of being frozen. I'm going to share with you what I did. But you know, for a long time, it's a tactic that can be used on someone, unfortunately, very successfully. And what that is accusing that person of something. It's like it's a deflection. It's a tool of deflection, and it's a tool of just getting you just disconnected from any kind of progress that a controlling person may perceive is happening within you, that you're actually getting somewhere with connecting dots. If they see that you're heading down that path, then they can use this tactic to just kind of get you off track. Okay, and so let me give you an example. You could be just sitting with this person, having dinner or whatever it is, and you may have just a couple of moments where nobody's talking and you might be putting some things together in your mind and thinking. Okay, if you'll notice, sometimes these people will be really zoned in on you, like just focused in, laser sharp focus. And if you're you know, caught up in some thoughts in your mind, and you're like, you know, inside this internal talk, and you're like, gosh, you know, hang on just a second, this doesn't make sense, how come this happened, and you're having this process going in your mind. Well, what I was able to observe is when I would start to have these thoughts, I mean, just barely start to have, you know, dots connect, it's like this person was looking for that. Okay, and it was like setting off alarms for this person, and I would catch this person just, you know, focused in on me, and it was such an intense, you know, have you ever seen a cat when they're you know, they found their prey, you know, like a little chipmunk or a mouse or whatever? It's like they have this laser sharp focus. It's like their pupils dilate and all this stuff, right? It's kind of if you you know, if you can remember, or if you're still in this situation, it's not going to surprise me if you're like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because that's the kind of focus that you can catch these people having on you. And it's strange. It's not the same thing as like sitting with a true, good, trusted friend who's just, you know, kind of looking at you and wondering if everything's okay. It's not the same thing. Okay, there's a different energy, you might say. Okay, but anyway, what they'll then do is, before you can even go too far at all with your thought process of connecting dots, is they will do something to just snap you out of it and break that train of thought. Okay, and it can be something like, Are you okay? Which is not just that, but it's like this, are you okay? You know, like this, and you're going, you know, again, it's a technique of shock, okay, sometimes. Or, and it just may be energetic only, but it works. Or it could be deflection in the manner that they just start, you know, talking, just talking. And as long as you're caught up in some kind of big, you know, elaborate conversation about whatever, then you're not having your own thoughts. See, they don't want you to have your own thoughts. They don't want you to have realizations. They don't want you to connect dots and put things together and say, oh my gosh, I know what's going on. They don't want that, see. So they employ these tools of deflection to get you off track. And so what happens on your end when this goes down is when that thought process, because it is a process to connect dots, okay, in your mind, when that's broken, it's like any realizations or, you know, aha moments or light bulb moments or whatever that you had in, you know, in those first few seconds or minutes, however long it was, it's like they get archived back here somewhere else within your psyche. It's like they're moved away from your conscious awareness then, just tucked away in this distant memory, like, you know, I think of like archival, you know, type stuff, you know, just way back, okay? And so they're still there though, they're still there. So I'm gonna give you hope. If you're still in a situation, they're still there. And at the right moment, when you are able to get away long enough from this influence and control, that's when this stuff will just slowly start to surface again, and you will have the ability to finally connect dots. But when you're literally in this situation, it's so challenging to make sense of things, because in my experience, you're not even like allowed to connect dots. And so it's like you might even have to, and this is something you can do in the moment, okay? You might even just have to excuse yourself, you know, camp out in the bathroom for a little bit just to kind of finish a thought process. Literally, just to have the privilege of finishing a thought process. So I just encourage you to, you know, figure out some tactics for yourself when you realize that you're not even allowed some time to put things together. There are things you can do to take control and take charge, such as excusing yourself to go to the bathroom. I mean, who's going to say something about that? You know, you have to go to the bathroom for a little bit. So, but, you know, just understand that if you are made to feel bad, this is tricky, because if you may have possibly been conditioned and not realize it yet, like growing up somehow. It could be parents or grandparents or teachers or, you know, anyone like that. They may have conditioned you to be sensitive to criticism in such a way that you were possibly made responsible or blamed for things when really you shouldn't have been. Maybe it was other kids, maybe it was them, and they had their own issues and it was projection or whatever. But I think that some of us are just more susceptible to just being willing to accept you know, fault when it's really we really didn't do anything wrong. And so that's another important thing too, when you're observing yourself, to notice within yourself. I had to have this realization myself, like where it was in hindsight, a lot of times I would look back on a situation and realize, like, hang on just a second, you know, I was shamed or made to feel guilty for something I should have never felt guilty for. And if had it been another technique, is you could say to yourself, you know, place another different person in your role and just imagine how that other person would have responded. That helped me a lot, because I would think, well, gosh, you know, this other person would have said, oh no, you know, don't don't blame me for that, or I didn't do anything wrong. See, so there's different techniques or tactics you can use to gain more perspective on the situation. But I just wanted to share with you all this tactic of, being accused or blamed or shamed. And sometimes it's not even vocal. Sometimes it's just, their body language, is very shaming or accusatory. If you, depending on, I feel like your past experiences, especially the things that were set within you, like in some kind of subconscious paradigms that you may have in your mind as growing up in your early development, your childhood development or whatever, I think that those are just the things that make us vulnerable to like I said, willingly accept blaming and shaming sometimes, not even consciously. And so just be aware, observe yourself, observe the situation, excuse yourself if you need to. Just keep yourself grounded. It's really, really important. You need to find ways to keep yourself grounded to reality, and as much time as you can get safely in solitude, the better, because you're going to be able to connect dots that way. And so I just hope that you realize that in a healthy relationship, friendship, whatever, any kind of relationship that it is, if it's healthy, you should never be expected to choose between yourself and the other person. It should never be an either or kind of thing. No matter what it is, whether it's the attention or the topic at hand, you'll never be expected to only listen to them and submit to their agenda, whatever they're talking about, where you never have an opportunity to just sit quietly and think in their presence, and also just to have your own opinions and your own, if you can't share that without judgment, or without it being exploited in some way, that's just not good. You know what I mean? So just something to think about. In a healthy relationship, you won't have to be made to be the bad guy when you know good and well you're not. You're not guilty of anything. You're just living honestly and authentically. So just some perspectives and things to think about. I hope that it's been helpful for you. I thank you for listening to the message today, and I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again very soon.